This is Imran with the lecture number 7, Psychoanalysis Part 2, and today we will discuss about psychosexual stages. So in last lecture we discussed about conscious, pre-conscious, unconscious, ego, superego, that was also belong from Sigmund Freud, and this lecture is also belongs from Sigmund Freud. So we will start from our first slide. Psychoanalysis. Psychosexual stages. Number 1 stage, there were various stages of psychoanalysis. There were various stages of psychosexual, because Freud believed that from the birth to death, a person has many stages, and by having those stages, he categorized those stages and defined each of the stage with some distinct properties. Number 1 is the oral stage. The age range of oral stage is birth to 1 year. The erogenous zone is mouth. The satisfactory zone is mouth. And the infant's primary source of interaction occurs through the mouth. So the rooting and sucking reflex is especially important. In this stage, the most gratifying and satisfactory source of interaction is mouth of a children, of an infant. So he sucks and reflects in some ways. The mouth is a vital for eating, and the infant derives pleasure from oral stimulation through gratifying activities such as tasting and sucking. He sucked his thumb, he sucked the nipples, and he eat, and he gratified himself with the mouth. So that was in the oral stage. Infant also develop a sense of trust and comfort through this oral stimulation. If that infant has taken the oral stimulation, then he will develop later on a sense of trust and comfort zone. If fixation occurs at this stage, Freud believed the individual would have issue with the dependency or aggression. So if there is a problem in the oral stimulation of an infant, then it will create a lot of problems when he will grow up. That problems might be dependency or aggression. Oral fixation can result in a problem with drinking, eating, smoking, or nail biting. Yes, this fixation could be broader and create problems through drinking, eating, smoking, nail biting in the later age. Number 2 is the anal stage. You can see in the picture that how the children learns. The age range of anal stage is 1 to 3 years. The erogenous zone is bowel and bladder control. The primary focus of the libido was on controlling bladder and bowel movement. To control the bladder and bowel movement is included in the anal stage. The major conflict at this stage is toilet training. The child has to learn to control his or her bodily needs. In the second stage of psychosexual of Freud, the main focus of this stage is upon the toilet training. If the child learns about this, then he will feel a lot of independence and accomplishment. While parents who utilize praise and rewards for using the toilet and the appropriate time encourage the positive outcomes and help children feel capable and productive. The toilet training is a lot depends on the parents' grooming. if the parents will provide some praise and rewards when the child will tell about some toilets, then there would be a positive outcome. And inappropriate parental responses can result in negative outcomes. If the parents will be strict, will not think, and they will say this is not a big issue. If they back their clothes, so that will create a negative outcomes, and there might be rigid and obsessive behavior will be in the later age. Number 3 is the phallic stage. Age range of the phallic is 3 to 6 years. Erogenous zone is genitals, the sexual organs. During the phallic stage, the primary focus of the libido is on genitals, is on sexual organs. At this age, children also begin to discover the differences between males and females due to their identity. 2 important complexes happen according to Freud. One is the Oedipus complex and number 2 is the Electra complex. In the Oedipus complex, the male child's feelings towards her mother, when there will be male child's feelings towards her mother, towards his mother, and he will attach towards his mother, then it will be called as Oedipus complex. And a female child feeling towards his father, the attachment towards her father, it will call the Electra complex. Number 4 is a latent stage. It is also called the latency. The age range of the stage is 6 to puberty. Puberty might be 12 to 13 years of age. Erogenous zone is socialization. In this stage, the children are more socialized. They went to the school, they meet with their peer groups, they meet with their cousins, and they just try to spend their time in the society. The stage begins around the time that children enter into school and become more concerned with peer relationships, hobbies, and other interests. As I said earlier on, that they are more socialized, they are more concerned with their relationships, with their hobbies and interests. And school is a place for their hobbies, for their peer groups. This stage is important in the development of social and communication skill and self-confidence. If the children will be free in the society, in the schools, and they will talk to their peer groups, they will communicate with their peer groups, they will communicate with their teachers, they will be socialized, they will enhance their self-confidence, they will improve their self-confidence. And that is very important stage, the latent stages. Fixation in the stage can be resultant as an isolation. Yes, the isolation could come if a children is unable to be socialized, if a children is unable to go to school, if a children is unable to communicate with their teachers. Number 5 is the genital stage. This is the last stage of psychosexual stages. The age range of the stage is from 12 years to death. Erogenous zone is maturing sexual interest. In this stage, the sexual feelings, the sexual interest starts to develop from the start, from the puberty. Individual develops a strong sexual interest in the opposite sex. In the opposite sex, they have strong feelings. Their libido has strong feelings in the opposite sex. If the other stages have been completed successfully, the individual should now be well balanced, warm and caring. In this stage, their loving relationships are also emerged, their marriage also comes, their jobs, their career, their children, everything comes in the genital stage. This is a very long stage. So that is why it has also an importance in the child's life. The goal of this state is to establish a balance between the various life areas. In this stage, a person learns from mistakes. In this stage, a person can get success, can get failure. Everything comes in this stage. So he can balance. If he learns from mistakes, he could go further. And if he repeats that sort of mistakes again and again and again, then it would create a lot of anxiety and a lot of problems. He could come in a psychological depression. So that is why this stage is very important. So our part 2 has been completed, and in next lecture we will talk about the anxiety and self-defense mechanisms. So if you have some questions, if you have some problems, then you can comment in the comment box. I will reply you. So till the next lecture, bye.